You can't deny that queer people have a unique perspective in the Pokemon community. That is why we must defend our titles as the greatest Pokemon trainers in the world. And to do so, we must depose the Pokemon League Champion and claim our rightful place in the Hall of Fame. Hello everyone, my name is Roberto Julio Esteban Ramirez de la Rosa de Guadalupe, but you may call me Robbie for short. And today, we're giving Pokemon Team to the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17. This is an ongoing series with many more Drag Race seasons to cover. Make sure to subscribe to stay caught up on new videos. And without further ado, let's get started. Our challenge for this region begins with lucky Starzzz, who unfortunately became the first eliminated queen for this season. And that's Starzzz, with as many Z's as you can muster. As the first gym leader, she would specialize in normal types, and there are some underrated and very conceptual choices for normal type Pokemon. Her first Pokemon is Shroodle, based on her entrance look. Quite the easy pairing considering how this evolutionary line and this high concept look are both based on painting. I settled on Shroodle rather than Grafaiai since it evolves at level 28, and I want to avoid an unnecessarily difficult first battle. I also chose it over Smeargle as I think the ooze on its fingers pairs better with the hyper-colorful aesthetic of this look. Her second Pokemon is Galarian Zigzagoon, which I paired with her Press Week look for Entertainment Weekly. I'm sure this look was also meant to be for the Quilted for Your Pleasure runway, but that's neither here nor there. This choice comes from an epiphany I had while searching for normal type Pokemon and saw Zigzagoon's eyes, which have a star-shaped pattern around them. The look resembles a pillow and bed sheets, which I associated with Zigzagoon's dark typing since humans tend to sleep during nighttime while raccoons are nocturnal creatures. Her final Pokemon is Alchemy, based on her talent show performance. Thank you to Matt on the Ditto Take Your Discord server for this perfect suggestion. He suggested that Lucky's alchemy should be made of lemon cream, as that performance was all about lemonade, and the Starsuite would be the metaphorical yet also literal cherry on top. This alchemy would also have a normal Terra type, of course, to match the rest of her team. Remember how in older generations we used to receive the gym leader's signature TM after each battle? I'm convinced Lucky would hand over the TM for Swift, a move that sprays star-shaped rays. Joella forgot the Ella and the brush, and her sleep number, and the lyrics to that lip sync. By the end of the season, she's gonna forget she was even there. Joella is our second eliminated queen, making her our second gym leader. As the mother of the Joella dynasty, I gave her a dragon-type specialty, since she spoke on the show about her desire to reconnect with Chinese culture, and dragons are very prevalent in Chinese mythology. Her first Pokemon is Dratini, based on her promo look. Thank you to Amata Mascara on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this suggestion. I enjoy this pairing as Dratini in the wild are commonly found in bodies of water. I also think the fins on its head resemble her clear skirt. Her second Pokemon is Shelgon, based on her Quilted for Your Pleasure runway. Thank you to Chow Anyways on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this hilarious suggestion. This is why I joked that Joella forgot her sleep number, because what the heck is this? It's giving old, uncomfortable mattress that gives you even more back pain, and that's why Shelgon is perfect. This Pokemon's body is a hard shell. We can get Shelgon at level 30, which is too high for a second gym leader, but the illegal level curve, much like Lance's Dragonite or Mars's Purugly, works for Joella because she's an icon in the LA drag scene and she's known for her opulent looks. I also like the idea of two pseudo-legendary lines that aren't yet fully developed. Her final Pokemon is Duskull, based on her Masked for Masked Singer runway. I associated the purple color scheme with Duskull's ghost typing, and the red lip with Duskull's eye. I also liked the idea of matching a masked Pokemon to a runway that was all about masks. This Duskull would have a Dragon Terra type to match the rest of her team. It fills me with great sadness to learn about Hormona Lisa's departure. May she never let us forget how she was handpicked by RuPaul herself. Hormona Lisa is our third gym leader, specializing in fairy-type Pokemon. She calls herself the Bubblegum Babe and has an affinity for the color pink, so the choice was practically made for me. Her first Pokemon is Azumarill, based on her Bathing Beauty's runway. Hormona used a bubble machine as a prop for this runway, and Azumarill is one of the first Pokemon that come to mind whenever I think of bubbles. It evolves from Marill, who became a trans icon within the Pokemon community due to its gender ratio being different across evolution stages. Azumarill has a gender ratio of 25% male and 75% female, while Marill has a 50-50 ratio. This means that in earlier generations, some female Azumarill had the chance of becoming a male Marill upon evolution. Her second Pokemon is Hatterene, based on her red carpet look for the season premiere. Thank you to Kit on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this great suggestion. This dress is a reference to Glinda, the Good Witch from The Wizard of Oz, with her pastel pink ensemble and spiky crystal wand. This evolutionary line is the best pair for this character, as stated by Miss Kara Couture on the second iteration of my Pokeparty game show.
I'm going to pair Miss Tension up with a shiny Hatterene, because clearly with this background, she's giving us Glinda the Good Witch.
I'm also holding space for the trans color palette of this Pokemon, as Hormona is also transgender. Her final Pokemon is a shiny Skuntank, based on her Masked for Masked Singer runway. Skuntank's shiny form is more of a red hue, but what is pink but a lighter shade of red? I usually don't give shiny Pokemon to gym leaders, but she was handpicked by RuPaul herself. I had to. This Skuntank would have a fairy Terra type because it needs to be pink and very girly pop. Skuntank also looks like it's about to blow a massive gum bubble. Watch out, Crystal Envy! She's coming for your gig. Crystal Envy is our next eliminated queen and our fourth gym leader for this region. And it seems like I had her name in my mouth so transparently that, speak of the devil, she so appeared. Just like the lyrics to her talent show performance, it's crystal clear that she's giving water type specialist.
It's clear that I'm giving you Crystal Envy.
The diamond experience.
She would open this gym battle with Quillfish, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway, as the look is clearly inspired by a pufferfish. She had fans inside her garment that puffed up her look, just like how a pufferfish expands its body to defend itself. Her second Pokemon is Gorbis, based on her Sea Sickening Eleganza runway. I really enjoy how the pink color schemes on both the look and the Pokemon complement each other. Crystal brands herself as Jersey's Barbie, which is very fitting for a pink and very girly Pokemon like Gorbis. Gorbis' design is very reminiscent of mermaids, fitting for the seafaring theme of this ball challenge. Her third Pokemon is Starmie, which I paired with her Monopulence runway. As a callback to her drag name, I wanted to give her a Pokemon that felt as regal and opulent as her look. They say diamonds are a girl's best friend, and what better Pokemon to fit this saying than Starmie, who has a gem encrusted in the center of its body. Finally, we finish her team with Bramblecast, based on her hilarious tumbleweed moment from episode 4. As part of the challenge for this episode, the queens were tasked with producing their own commercials for parodies of untucked moments from the show. After realizing that the tumbleweed prop her team was given wasn't rolling as a tumbleweed should, Crystal took matters into her own hands and made the most hilarious meme of that entire episode. Brambleghast would terrestrialize into a water type to fall in line with the rest of her team, and reference her fountain-like promo look. Acacia Forgot is our fifth gym leader for this region. Along with Joella, Acacia is also the other member of the Forgotten Duo of Los Angeles. I'm so sorry. Acacia is a type of tree, which immediately makes me think of grass. She's also a country girl at heart, and I think she would be very in tune with nature as a Pokemon trainer. Her first Pokemon is Lileep, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway. This outfit is inspired by feather stars, marine invertebrates that are part of the crinoid species, which is precisely what Lileep is based on. Lileep can also learn the move Amnesia, which inspired me to create this team for Miss Acacia Forgot, as her drag name suggests. This also continues the theme of sea creature-inspired choices for every queen given this season's aquatic theme. Her second Pokemon is Tangrowth, paired with her red carpet look for the season premiere. Tangrowth is another choice who can learn Amnesia, but this was a little harder to pair up with a look. I decided on this outfit as another nod to her country style of drag. Tan growth is based on vines, which are typically found in swamps, and the southern United States is known for having swampy regions, such as in Florida and Louisiana. Her final Pokemon is Lokix, based on her Nailed It runway. This look is inspired by a Swiss army knife, as we see by the many tools attached to her nails. This choice is perfect, given the way Lokix retracts its third set of legs, precisely like a pocket knife. Lokix cannot learn amnesia, but it's such a good pairing that I could not pass it up, and I likely won't have another opportunity to choose Lokix for another runway in the future. Lokix would sport a grass Terra-type to become another grass-type member of Acacia's team, and reference its grasshopper-like design. Good morning, Kingdom! Are we having a fabulous day? Because I sure am. And I would have an even more fabulous day if Kori King reacted to this Pokemon team on her YouTube channel. If you could all send this to her, that would be great. Thank you. Kori's placement wasn't too good on the show, but her showmance with Lydia, whom we'll talk about later, and her hilarious confessionals were highlights of the show. Kori King placed 9th on the show out of 14 queens. That makes her our 6th gym leader. I had initially thought of Steel, but after a revelation during one of my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/Robbie for short, I figured out that Ice would be a better fit for Miss King. Kori is Japanese for the word ice, and Kori's talent show performance to Shake That Ice solidifies that choice. Pun intended. Her first Pokemon is Ice Cube, precisely for this performance. Thank you to Dre the Stallion on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this suggestion. She walked into the workroom and performed an entire dance number while holding a cup of ice. That ice cube at the end that fell from her leotard was a paid actor.
All gone.
Ice Cube's name is a pun off the word ice cube, and its signature ability is Ice Face, which removes its ice cube-shaped snowman face after being hit with an attack. Kori's drag personality pokes fun at the stereotype of the white valley girl from California who is always on the go with her Starbucks dragon fruit refreshers and her pumpkin spice lattes. I won't support Starbucks though because they don't support workers' unions. Her second Pokemon is Weavile, based on her look for the grand finale. Kori is quite the shady queen, which I associated with Weavile's mischievous tendencies. I paired it with this look because I like how the dress's color palette would complement Weavile's shiny form. If she had one, which she doesn't, because she wasn't hand-selected by RuPaul herself. Now clock that tea. Sometimes I embarrass myself. Her third Pokemon is Celio, based on her Bathing Beauty's runway, specifically the swimsuit she revealed into, which references Katy Perry's Super Bowl performance from 2015. Sea lions are known for balancing balls on their noses, which they do by feeling the direction in which it's falling with their whiskers. Balancing acts are typically associated with the circus, and I would argue that Kori King is a clown. Celio continues the trend of every queen having an aquatic creature on their team, and Kori is such a petite, dainty woman that Celio was a great contrast to her feminine hourglass figure. Her final Pokemon is Flapple, based on her Wizard of Oz inspired Parasol's runway, which coincidentally was the theme for the Rusical Challenge that same episode. There's a scene in The Wizard of Oz that features Dorothy trying to pick apples from a tree by the yellow brick road, and Flapple is capable of learning the move Twister, which is one of the songs in this Rusical and the natural disaster that brought Dorothy to Oz. With an ice Terra type, it would gain a resistance to its 4 times weakness to ice. Flapple also evolves from Applin, the Pokemon that is said to be given as a gift to someone you truly love. Maybe this was Lydia's gift to Kori as the apple of her eye. We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. Pokemon Rangers reported an explosion in the middle of the sea where they discovered the ruins of a ransacked sea temple. This temple is reportedly the site of a mysterious Pokemon egg said to become the guardian of the sea. That Pokemon egg is now missing. Found on the scene was a lock of black hair, No other trace of the culprit has been identified. We will update with further details on the intentions of this villainous Pokemon trainer as we hope for the safe return of the Pokemon Egg. Truly, there has never been a queen who has fought harder for the title of Villain of the Season than Arrietty has. With such a reputation, it's most appropriate to make her the villainous Pokemon trainer for this region. She holds an affinity for dark types, as dark types can be considered creatures with evil or mischievous intentions, though her Pokemon team is a bit more complex. She opens the battle with Gothitelle, based on her Betsy Johnson fashion collection runway. It's a black dress with a white bow tie. That's what did it for me. This is an excellent example of Arrietty's incredible sewing skills. I really enjoy how she created an androgynous moment as part of the prenup collection, and the gothic style fits perfectly with Gothitelle's design. She would focus her battle strategy on utilizing Trick Room to her advantage since the rest of her team is quite slow. Her second Pokemon is Cacturne, based on her tickled pink runway. Thank you once again to Amada Mascara on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this suggestion. When I saw this pairing, I was stunned by how good of a suggestion this was. The look reminds me of dragon fruits, tropical fruits that can grow on cacti, and the spikes on this outfit resemble the spikes on the sides of Cacturne's body. Cacturne would also really benefit from Trick Room with its slow speed stat and high offensive stats. Her third Pokemon is Grimmsnarl, based on her entrance look. Arrietty calls herself the elusive elven deity, and Grimmsnarl is the elf Pokemon. Grimmsnarl is based on fey creatures in European folklore, who are usually perceived as mythical spirits with neutral yet unpredictable morals. Think of Wan Shi Tong from Avatar: The Last Airbender, an owl creature from the spirit world who asks for a piece of knowledge in order for the gang to enter the library. Grimmsnarl's fairy typing represents creatures of fey ancestry, while its dark typing represents the ulterior and more mischievous intentions that fairy creatures tend to have. In Arrietty's case, fairy represents her elven style of drag, while dark represents her villainous tendencies on the show. Her fourth Pokemon is Cursula, based on her sea-sickening eleganza runway, for the obvious connection to coral reefs. Cursula always brings up the conversation of environmental conservation due to being Corsula's ghost-type regional variant. This outfit is part of her Winning Ball collection, and I always strive to include something from an episode that a respective queen wins. But I also find this choice hilariously ironic, considering the final Pokemon on this team. It reminds me of the memes about Cyrus having a Crobat, which evolves through high friendship because Cyrus's entire philosophy is about using Pokemon as mere tools to achieve his vision, claiming that Pokemon are not friends when he clearly has a bond with his Crobat. Finally, as we corner this evildoer in battle, Arrietty would unleash her final Pokemon, known as the Guardian of the Sea, Shadow Manaphy, which I paired with her Bathing Beauty's runway. Can you imagine Arrietty stealing a Pokemon egg from this sea temple in this sickening outfit? Pokemon Company, you better be writing this down. In an effort to create a memorable and difficult battle, I thought that a moveset of Surf, Aqua Ring, Rain Dance, and Tail Glow would put the player in a tough spot. As the battle comes to a close, we successfully rescue Manaphy from the clutches of this delusional drag queen, and we continue on with our gym challenge. Lydia B. Kollinz is who follows in the elimination order, and our 7th gym leader. She is a certified ghost-type trainer with her out-of-the-box and gothic drag style. She also brands herself as the final girl, referencing the classic horror movie trope. Her first Pokemon is Hisuian Zoroark, paired with her quilted for your pleasure runway. Hisuian Zoroark's design really resembles the silhouette of the slope, with its weird shape and unusual curves. I also enjoy its zombie-like influences that I think Lydia would have fun with, given her creative and twisted point of view. Kori King could be her ghost type from her zombie bite. And if you think this choice should have been Mimikyu, I'm sorry, we're not running through the night in Lavoie's sexy sheet. I don't know what to tell you. Her second Pokemon is Sableye, paired with her Nailed It runway. I enjoy this pairing for the idea that I have in my mind of Sableye being her little homunculus servant by her side. Sableye can also learn moves like Fury Swipes and Shadow Claw, which perfectly fit the brief of nails on the runway. Her third Pokemon is Basculegion, based on her sea creature couture runway. Technically a lantern would fit pretty well since this outfit is inspired by an anglerfish. However, the concept of this look was her riding the anglerfish, and we're able to ride a basculin in Legends Arceus. Her final Pokemon is Hydrapple, paired with her entrance look. Thank you to Nova on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this juicy suggestion. This choice serves as a reference to the movie Beetlejuice, from which Lydia got her drag name from. It also references the giant snake that Beetlejuice transforms into to terrorize the Dietz family. Now that I've said that name twice, let me not say it a third time. Applin has 3 different evolutions, but Hydrapple is the only 3rd stage out of those 3 lines, so having a Hydrapple is in line with Lydia's storyline of always outshining Kori on the show. She was more emotive in the Rusical when they played the same role, she beat her in a lip sync, and the track records were almost exactly the same by that point. Then she won a challenge the episode after. Hydrapple would have a Ghost Terra type to fall in line with the rest of her team, and add a spooky element to this Pokemon. Lana has a very unique perspective as a Pokemon trainer because she's more familiar with Pokemon contests where she can showcase her beautiful flying type Pokemon. She's crossed paths with gym leader Elisa in her supermodel career, and she's good friends with Luxnoir London, who is an established Elite Four member. Being a gym leader is not something that she's ever really done before, but the Pokemon League recognized her potential, and that's how she ultimately landed this position. Every day brings a new experience for Lana as the final gym leader for this region, and I believe her Pokemon contest approach to this gym battle will be something very different for her. Her drag name is a pun off of lingerie, which makes me think of Victoria's Secret Angels. Her confessional look is also a crochet sky, which takes us to her first Pokemon, Altaria. And before we start, I have to thank Amada Mascara for a 3rd time. Your suggestions have been on fire for this video. Draylee Stallion and Tiara Tundra, who helped me pick out this entire team after ample discussion in the voice channel after our Drag Race watch parties on the Ditto Daycare Discord server. This draconic bird Pokemon is a staple on Lana's team with its gorgeous cotton wings that reference the white clouds on her sweater vest. Altaria has also been influential in Lana's career as a Pokemon coordinator for its iconic looks. Its dragon typing is a connection to her drag mother Luxnoir London, who I made a dragon type trainer on my season 15 video. Her second Pokemon is Archeops, based on her quilted for your pleasure runway. This is a very colorful choice that beautifully complements the color scheme of this look. I also thought of its signature ability Defeatist, referencing how Lana looked physically and emotionally defeated during that one Untucked episode where she turned away from Jules. Her third Pokemon is Mantine, based on her promo look. This garment is meant to be an upgraded version of her look from the Sea Sickening Ball Challenge, which features some ruffled details around her ears that could be interpreted as fins. This upgraded version, however, elevates the look by elongating the fins and adding flaps along the arms that could simulate the wings on Mantine. I also think of the silver straps as a loose connection to Mantine's tail and Remoraid companion. Her final Pokemon is Pincurchin, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway. This is the one original choice I made for this team. The dress is inspired by a purple sea urchin, which is precisely what Pincurchin is based on. I kept getting Overquill as a suggestion, but I thought to myself that if we're going to continue with this bit of Lana being a new gym leader, Pincurchin is actually a better option that fits the look's concept perfectly. I also thought that Pincurchin's battling capabilities would be more impressive if the challenger was caught off guard. Pincurchin would terrestrialize into a flying type to negate its weakness to ground, and with Lightning Rod as its ability, it would also negate its new weakness to electric while also raising its special attack. Lana could then use this strategy to her advantage to deliver a devastating flying-type Terra Blast. Amazing job! We've defeated every gym leader. Now the time has come for you to battle your way through the Pokémon League. Pokemon Coliseum Girly Pop Lock starting on April 17th. You mean it already started? Well, go catch up on the VOD channel. After 8 tough battles, we reach the Pokemon League, the toughest challenge for any trainer who aspires to the coveted title of Pokemon League Champion. RuPaul's Drag Race has a tendency to crown winners who represent the current political climate of the United States. Many people are calling this era the Second Great Depression, so I think we know what we have to do. Crown Suzie Toot. In all seriousness, we'll begin this challenge with her as our first Elite Four member, specializing in psychic types for her very cerebral approach to the art form of drag. Her first Pokemon is Mr. Rhyme, based on her entrance look, her promo look, her red carpet look for the season premiere. She has her old Hollywood aesthetic down to a T. Her performances in the talent show and the makeover also showcase her tap dancing skills, which Mr. Rhyme perfectly complements. Her second Pokemon is Miastic, based on her short shorts runway. I liked the idea of matching this French Renaissance fashion moment with a feline-inspired Pokemon from the Colors region, which is inspired by France. Her third Pokemon is Indeedee, which I paired with her Monopulence look. It's the horns. That's pretty much it. There's no other particular reason that comes to mind in terms of the look, but Indeedee is a VGC staple with common movesets that include Imprison and Trick Room, the latter of which would be important for her next team member. Her fourth Pokemon is Octillery, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway. Is it psychic? No. Can it learn psychic moves? Yes, and it fits the brief of giving an aquatic creature to each queen of the season. But I also wanted to do something a little different. While figuring out teams for the Elite Four, I allowed myself to give each of them one other Pokemon that represented them outside of their assigned types. So Octillery represents Suzie's campy sense of style. It was either this or Malamar, and this screamed Octillery the moment I saw it on my screen. Her final Pokemon is Galarian Weezing, paired with her promo look, which would have a psychic Terra type to complement the rest of her team. Toot is another less vulgar word for fart, which I associated with moves such as Poison Gas and Toxic, but Poison didn't fit her drag style the more I looked over the list of Pokemon from that type. I kept Weezing for the 1920s flapper girl era of fashion that obviously speaks to her, and I associate that aesthetic with the Galar region. Everybody say love! Lexi love! Well, except for Suzie, who could be considered an anti-hero character throughout the season as Lexi's immediate rival. Kentucky's roller derby doll finished the season as a finalist, earning her a spot in the Elite Four. According to Bulbapedia, the roller skater trainer class specializes in flying and electric types at the Kalo region's Battle Mason. We'll stick with an electric type specialty as Lana already has a team of flying types. Her first Pokemon is Electivire, based on her Is It Cake runway. Similar to Kyranthrax on the UK's 6th season, Lexi chose a TV-inspired outfit to showcase on the runway. I thought of Electivire for its design elements close to electrical appliances. Rotom could have arguably been a better choice, but I don't see Rotom as part of an Elite Four team, and I already made a similar choice with Robin Fierce on Season 15. Her second Pokemon is Pachirisu, based on her red carpet look for the season premiere. For this choice, I focused on her white coat, which loosely represents Pachirisu's tail, and the light blue dress that matches the stripe along Pachirisu's body. Pachirisu has never been seen on an Elite Four team, though the electric type has also never been seen in the Elite Four. However, Pachirisu historically had competitive viability back in 2014 when Sejun Park won the Pokémon World Championships. Lexi could have a similar experience, though the Super Fang and Nuzzle strategy might be less impactful in a single battle. Her third Pokemon is Ampharos, based on her Betsy Johnson prenup collection look. Plain and simply put, the fluffiness of this garment reminds me of Ampharos' Mega Evolution. Lexi is considered by many a beacon of love, as her drag name suggests. I see Ampharos as a metaphorical choice, since it shares traits with a lighthouse given its height stripes and red gem representing the beacon on the top. Her fourth Pokemon is Jellicent, based on her Sea Creature Couture runway. I had this choice in the back of my mind ever since I saw this look, since it's inspired by a purple stinger jellyfish. Despite its water and ghost typing, I think Jellicent complements the rest of the team, given that common misconception that electricity runs through a jellyfish's tentacles. It's unfortunate that Jellicent can't learn any electric moves, but the electric shock you feel from getting stung by a jellyfish is actually from the venom it releases rather than actual electricity. Still, it would have been fun to let it learn an electric move. It would have been similar to Baronade from The Legend of Zelda. Her final Pokemon is Alomomola, based on her makeover look. Lexi's full drag name was Lexi Valentine Love, so it was a must to give her a heart-shaped Pokemon. Luvdisc is the most well-known heart-shaped Pokemon, but Alomomola is the more appropriate choice for an Elite Four member given its higher base stat total, and it would terrestrialize into an electric type to follow the rest of her team. This episode was also very emotional, with Lexi's mom coming to terms with her gender identity, making these outfits much more symbolic.
Well, I heard y'all were looking for America's Next Drag Superstar.
Oh.
And she's so tempted to tell you it's her, but it's not. America's Next Drag Superstar is actually in another room ahead. Samstar is our second Elite Four member sporting a team of Steel-type Pokemon. When I think of metal, I think of polished, the same word I would use to describe Sam and her pageant drag. Her first Pokemon is Empoleon, based on her promo look. This look is arguably the best one of the bunch, which isn't surprising as we know Sam for her gorgeous gowns. Empoleon borrows design elements from Napoleon Bonaparte and French Rococo fashion, which makes it a very regal and poised Pokemon. It's also known to have Bubble Beam in its moveset, which we particularly remember from Dawn's Piplup utilizing it during Pokemon contests. Her second Pokemon is Excadrill, based on her look for the ugliest dress ever, which was not ugly in the slightest. She has knives on her head and lots of red on her garment that resembles the red patterns on Excadrill's body. But what really sold me on this choice was her southern charm. Excadrill is a reference to Clay from the Unova Pokémon League and his cowboy style, which Sam really embraced during the makeover challenge. Speaking of, her third Pokemon is Alolan Dugtrio, based on that very same look. When I see this Pokemon and this runway side by side, I find it hilarious. Alolan Dugtrio is an iconic regional form with iconic hair.
Oh, Bob, this
And this needed to be included for the meme and for the lols, if not for any other reason. Any other Hispanics here see Alolan Dugtrio and think of the Mis Tías las Solteras meme? Because that's the first thing I think of every time. Her fourth Pokemon is Starmie, based on her entrance look. This is the first time that I've included repeat Pokemon on the same video, but in all honesty, I can't not include Starmie on a Samstar team. This season of Drag Race has gone back to its roots of dramatic television, so why not give this repeat choice some drama for your entertainment? We've seen Koga previously become an Elite Four member after being a gym leader in Kanto. Crystal Envy also has a Starmie on her team, so maybe Sam sees Crystal as a threat to her position in the Elite Four. Crystal was a contender early in the competition, and she is the only gym leader with 4 Pokemon on her team, similar to Iono in Scarlet and Violet, when the rest of the early gym leaders only have 3 each. Sam having a Starmie on her team is about sending a message to Crystal and anyone who wants a spot in the Elite Four, that she is not to be messed with. I guess Crystal really is the most envied of them all.
Yeah, I'd envy me too.
Is that enough drama for you? Now, if you really need to tie it together, Starmie can learn Gyro Ball and Flash Cannon, both of which are steel moves. Sam's final Pokemon is Veluza, based on her sea creature Couture runway, which is inspired by a viperfish. Empoleon is the only water and steel type, but I'm sure that if we had a Pokemon inspired by a viperfish, it would have this type combo. For now, a steel Terra type for Veluza will have to suffice. Veluza is the closest we have to this animal, and its ability to shed its own flesh is creepy enough to warrant the comparison to this look. There's nothing that I love more from my jewels than to watch them sparkle. For the 10th year in a row, disappointingly, we once again miss out on the opportunity to crown a Latina queen since Bianca Del Rio. But nonetheless, Jules Sparkles will have a brilliant showing as our final Elite Four member. Jules is a rock-type trainer, as gems and minerals in the Pokemon world are associated with the rock type, particularly rock and fairy types like her first Pokemon, Carbink. based on her Masked for Masked singer runway. Everybody say thank you, Miss Dawnstone, for this sparkly suggestion. And if you don't know who Miss Dawnstone is, we've had the pleasure of having her as a guest on this channel for our first iteration of our Pokémon game show. Links to her socials are in the description, of course. Carbink was a no-brainer, an ace Pokemon, if you will, for a queen whose brand is all about rhinestones. There is a comparison to be made between Carbink's ears and Jules' mask, and the details on her bodice resemble the gemstones on its body, plus the color schemes match immaculately. Her second Pokemon is Barbaracle, based on her Nailed It runway. This outfit is meant to represent the surgery Jules underwent that gave her her bionic spine. I'll admit, I was quite torn between these choice and Kabutops for the spikes along its back that could symbolize her bionic spine. I stuck to my first choice, however, because the runway brief was all about nails, and Barbaracle has a hand-looking head and 4 different arms with claws that resemble the long nails surrounding Jules' body. Her third Pokemon is Aurorus, paired with her New York Holiday Press Week look. An ice type for a holiday look is not the most original choice, but the gems along Aurorus' body are precisely on brand with Jules' drag. This beautiful and shiny sheer fabric also reminds me of the 2 large sails that extend from its head all the way down its neck. Her fourth Pokemon is Mamoswine, based on her makeover look. After Bob the drag queen said these looks are giving ice climbers, I can't unsee it. And I can imagine the 2 of them riding a Mamoswine, much like in Route 17 in Pokemon X and Y. Her makeover partner was her dad, who happily gave himself the name of Salchicha, canned meat that is typically made with a blend of ground beef and pork. You might know them as Vienna sausages. We Latinos love them. As its name suggests, Mamoswine is obviously a swine, and Jules is the originator of the phrase,
Baby, that's piggy.
it can also learn Ancient Power, which is actually required for it to evolve. Her final Pokemon is Miltank, based on her talent show performance. She performed an original number called La Leche, which translates to milk in Spanish, but you probably already knew that. Milk typically comes from cows, which makes the connection very obvious. Miltank is unavailable in Scarlet and Violet, so you'll have to imagine what it would look like as it terastallizes into a rock type, and you know those rollouts are going to be incredibly powerful. Congratulations! You've beaten the Elite Four. Now it's time to find out which Pokemon our final challenger will face you with. At last, we've reached our final challenge. One more trainer to face before receiving the coveted title of Pokémon League Champion. Onya Nurve truly got on everyone's nerves during the first half of the show, but she slowly shifted everyone's expectations by showcasing her raw talent and unadulterated confidence. Her Pokemon team was quite challenging to put together, but I tried my best to choose creatures that would showcase the black excellence exuded with her drag. Let's start with her first Pokemon, Gyarados, based on her promo look. Thank you to Arlo on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this fierce suggestion. The mohawk resembles Gyarados' back fins, and the long braid reminds me of its serpentine body. The promo, of course, has an aquatic theme, which is perfect for a water-type Pokemon. Her second Pokemon is Delmise, based on her sea-sickening Eleganza look. Thank you again to Nova on the Ditto Daycare Discord server for this suggestion. The dirty green color palette, the netting, everything about this look perfectly complements this Pokemon, especially considering the seafaring theme of this design challenge. I also love that the chains resemble how Delmise looks when it extends its anchor. Her third Pokemon is Skeledirge, based on her look for the Lollapalooza episode. This look is inspired by Dochi, famous for her album Alligator Bites Never Heal, and Skeledirge is based on a crocodile, which is not the same as a gator, but it is a similar animal. It loves to sing, as evidenced by its signature move, Torch Song, which references Anya's win for the singing challenge. The outfit also has a very academic look, which reminds me of the Naranja Academy in Paldea, from which Skeledirge was introduced. Her fourth Pokemon is Mandibuzz, based on her ugliest dress ever runway. Thank you again to Tiara Tundra, PNE's #1 fan, you know, from the Crown Tundra DLC. If any of you lay hands on this fatherly figure, I'm sure she'll have some fighting words for you. This atrocious look is based on a turkey, but I really enjoyed the suggestion when I found turkey vultures while researching online. Mandibuzz is based on a vulture rather than a turkey, but turkey vultures share similar head shapes and colors, and it's a comedic choice for this comedic queen. Her fifth Pokemon is Tinkaton, paired with her makeover look. There are a few things that resemble this look, mainly Tinkaton's hair, which is almost the same shape as Onya's wig. This evolutionary line is known for its mischief, particularly in its first stage, Tinkatink, because of how it tends to take whatever scrap metal it finds to form the perfect hammer, regardless of whether that metal belongs to someone or not. It feels like a similar impulse to when Onya grabbed the trim that Jules was planning to use during the first design challenge. I also paired it to this look because I found it kind of funny to think about how Onya's dad, her makeover partner, was previously in prison for bank robbery, and this Pokemon is known for taking things without permission. It's pink, it has beef with Corviknight, and I think it fits really well with Onya's personality. Her final Pokemon is Lucario, based on her press week look for BuzzFeed Celeb. There's a video by Alley Cat on TikTok where she goes over various Pokemon and decides, in her opinion, who can say the word.
I'm finna tell you which Pokemon I think could say the word.
Lucario feels like a character that would appear on this list, particularly because of the black appendages behind its head simulating dreadlocks. I like how the blue color scheme matches the look, and her bracelets represent the spikes on its paws. Lucario is also categorized as the Aura Pokemon, which is a Lady Gaga song, and she technically beat Jules in a lip sync to a different Lady Gaga song. Onya would finish the battle by terrestrializing her Lucario into a fighting type, to unleash devastating aura spheres at double the power. What do you think of my choices? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more Pokemon content coming your way. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and remember, we're not going anywhere.